The voicemail was waiting when I woke up. I almost deleted it without listening. I was half asleep, fumbling for my phone to turn off my alarm, squinting at the bright screen in the darkness. Then I saw his name.
Jake.
2:47 a.m. My heart dropped into my stomach before I even pressed play. My hands started trembling as I held the phone to my ear. His voice sounded wrong.
Hollow. Distant.
Like he'd already grieved something and moved on. I can't marry someone who's been lying to me this whole time. Someone who loves you told me everything.
I'm sorry.
I'm done. The voicemail ended. I sat there frozen in bed, my phone still pressed against my ear, waiting desperately for him to say he was joking, that this was some cruel prank. He didn't. The silence was deafening. I called him back immediately, my hands shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. It rang once, then went straight to voicemail. His voicemail. The one I'd heard 1,000 times. I tried again, my breathing getting faster. Straight to voicemail. He'd blocked me. Panic set in. I threw on the first clothes I could find, sweatpants, an old t-shirt. I didn't even look in the mirror. Didn't brush my hair. Didn't care. I just needed to see him,
to talk to him,
to understand what the hell was happening. I grabbed my keys with shaking hands and ran to my car. The drive to his apartment was a blur of tears and terror. I almost ran a red light, almost rear-ended someone at a stop sign. My vision kept blurring. My chest felt like it was being crushed. This couldn't be real. 3 years together. 8 months engaged. A wedding dress already hanging in my closet. Invitations we'd spent weeks designing together. Gone in a 2-minute voicemail I hadn't even been awake to receive. I pulled into his apartment complex, my heart pounding so hard it hurt. His parking spot was empty. I stared at that empty space, feeling my entire world crumble. But I couldn't leave. I couldn't accept this. So I waited. 1 hour passed. Then 2. Then 3. I called him 17 more times. Every single one went straight to voicemail. I texted him. The messages turned green. Undelivered. He'd blocked my number completely. The sun started to rise, painting the sky in cruel, beautiful colors. He never came home. That's when it finally hit me. This wasn't a fight we'd work through. This wasn't a misunderstanding I could explain. This was the end. And I didn't even know why. I sat in that parking lot, sobbing so violently I thought I might be sick, completely shattered and utterly alone. Who told him what? What lies had someone fed him about me? Who would do this? Who even knew enough about my private life to destroy it so completely, so efficiently? Someone who loves me, he'd said. Those words echoed in my head like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I spent the next 2 weeks in a suffocating fog of confusion and pain. I took time off work, stayed locked in my apartment, ignored every single call from everyone. My friends tried desperately to reach out. I didn't respond. My family sent concerned messages asking if I was okay. I left them on read, unable to face anyone. I didn't want to talk to a soul until I knew exactly what poisonous lies had been spread about me. Then, 3 weeks after the breakup that shattered my world, I got a message from my ex's best friend, Tyler. We'd always gotten along perfectly. He'd been at our engagement party, celebrating with us.
Hey.
I know this is weird, but can we talk? There's something you should know about why Jake ended things. Something that doesn't sit right with me. I called him immediately, my heart pounding. Tyler, what happened? What did someone tell him? He hesitated, clearly uncomfortable. Look, I wasn't supposed to say anything, but this whole thing feels wrong. Jake got a disturbing call about 3 weeks ago. Someone told him you had serious mental health issues you'd been deliberately hiding. That you'd been in intensive therapy for years and on heavy medication. That you'd had a complete breakdown in college and never recovered. My stomach dropped violently. Every word felt like a knife. Who told him that? She said she was calling because she cared deeply about both of you. That she didn't want him to marry someone who was unstable, dangerous even, and hadn't been honest with him about who she really was. Tyler, who is it? Another painful pause. Your mom. The world stopped spinning. Time froze. What? Your mom called him Rachel. She said she was desperately worried about him, that you had severe problems you weren't dealing with. She made it sound like you were hiding some seriously dark stuff from him, like you were a ticking time bomb. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt crushed. She told him about my therapy?
Yeah.
And she twisted it, Rachel. She made it sound way worse than it probably was. Jake was terrified. Not because of the therapy itself, but because she made it seem like you'd been deliberately deceiving him about who you really were. Like you were living a complete lie. My hands were shaking uncontrollably. My mother, the woman I'd confided in about my darkest struggles in college. The woman I'd told about my anxiety, my medication, my painful therapy sessions. The woman I'd trusted with my deepest, most vulnerable fears. She'd weaponized all of it to destroy my engagement. She'd taken my pain and used it as ammunition. Why would she do that? I whispered, my voice breaking. Tyler sighed heavily. She told Jake that she didn't think he was right for you. That she was protecting you both from making a catastrophic mistake. That she knew better than you what you needed. I hung up. I sat there in deafening silence, feeling something inside me shatter into 1,000 pieces. Not sadness anymore. Not even burning anger yet. Just ice-cold clarity. My mother had betrayed me in the cruelest, most unforgivable way possible. And she'd done it because she thought she had the right to control my entire life. I didn't confront her right away. I needed to think clearly, to plan carefully, because the anger came later, washing over me like a tidal wave. And when it did, it was ice-cold and absolutely merciless. She'd destroyed the most important relationship in my life without a second thought. She'd used my private pain as a weapon against me. She'd decided my future for me, like I was her property. And she'd done it all while pretending to love me unconditionally. I wanted her to feel exactly what I felt. Betrayal.
Loss.
Humiliation. Devastation. But I needed leverage. I needed to find something that would hurt her the way she'd brutally hurt me. So I started digging into her life. I hired a private investigator. Not because I wanted simple revenge. Because I knew, deep in my gut, that my mother wasn't clean. Something about her had always felt off. The unexplained absences. The secretive phone calls. The convenient business trips that happened like clockwork. I told the investigator everything. I need you to find anything, I said coldly. Tax fraud. Financial irregularities. Hidden accounts. Affairs. Anything I can use. He promised to be thorough. I waited. Days passed like torture. Then one night my phone rang at 11 p.m. The investigator. Rachel, he said, his voice tight with disbelief. I found something you won't believe. My heart stopped. What is it? You need to sit down for this. Your mother has another family. The words didn't make sense at first. What? Not just an affair. Not just a secret relationship. A complete, separate life. She's married to a man named Mark. They live in Portland. They have 2 teenage sons together. She's been living this double life for 12 years. I felt my blood turn to ice. That's impossible. I have proof. Photos. Marriage certificates. School records for the boys. Bank statements showing joint accounts. Rachel, she's been maintaining 2 entire families simultaneously for over a decade. My hands started trembling violently. Send me everything. The photos arrived within minutes. And they destroyed me all over again. My mother in a wedding dress, beaming at a man who wasn't my father. My mother at birthday parties with children I'd never met. My mother on family vacations, playing the perfect wife and mother to strangers. A whole life we knew nothing about. I stared at those images for hours, feeling emotions I didn't have names for. And then, slowly, something changed in me. The pain transformed into something darker. Something colder. Something deadly. I smiled. Not a happy smile. Not even an angry smile. An evil smirk that could ruin someone's life in a single moment. The kind of smile that meant someone's world was about to burn to ashes. Because the irony was almost poetic. She judged me. She destroyed my engagement because she thought I wasn't being honest enough. She'd called me unstable, dangerous, deceptive, while she'd been living the biggest, most catastrophic lie imaginable for 12 years. While she'd been betraying my father every single day. While she'd been playing perfect mother to two families who had no idea the other existed. The hypocrisy was breathtaking. And I was going to make sure everyone knew exactly who she really was. I contacted Mark's wife. The woman I now knew was also married to my mother. Her name was Claire. I sent her a carefully crafted message through Facebook. Hi Claire, I think we need to talk urgently about your husband Mark. I have information you desperately need to see. She responded within an hour, clearly worried. Who is this? What information? I sent her one of the devastating photos the investigator had found. My mother and Mark at what looked like an anniversary dinner, gazing at each other lovingly. That's my wife, I wrote, my fingers steady. I think we've both been lied to for a very long time. She called me immediately, her voice shaking. Claire and I talked for hours that night. She'd had absolutely no idea. Just like my father had no idea. Mark had told her the exact same convenient story. Consulting work that required frequent travel to Seattle twice a month. She'd never questioned it. Never suspected. We were both reeling. Both furious. Both utterly betrayed by the same woman. But I already had a plan forming in my mind. A perfect, devastating plan. There's a family dinner next Sunday, I told her, my voice calm and cold. My mother's hosting. My whole family will be there. Okay. I want you and your entire family there too. Silence. You want to confront her?
No.
I want to walk in with your family. Sit down at her table like we're invited guests. And let her explain to everyone why there are two complete families in her dining room. Let her try to lie her way out of it in front of everyone she's ever deceived. Claire's voice was trembling. That's absolutely insane. She destroyed my life to hide hers. I think she's earned some very public humiliation, don't you? Another long, heavy pause. What do I tell Mark? My boys? They'll be devastated. The brutal truth. That their wife and mother has been lying to them their entire lives. That we're going to get the answers they deserve. They'll be shattered. They deserve to know the truth. Just like my father deserves to know what she's really been doing all these years. She was quiet for a long, agonizing moment. Finally, okay, we'll be there. Sunday came. I arrived at my mother's house at exactly 5 p.m., my heart pounding with anticipation. My father was there. My aunts. My uncle. Cousins. My mother opened the door, genuinely surprised to see me. Rachel, I didn't think you'd come. I've been trying desperately to reach you. I wouldn't miss this for the world, I said sweetly, walking past her. She followed me into the dining room, visibly nervous. Sweetheart, I know you're upset about what happened with Jake, but I was only trying to help. I turned to face her, my expression unreadable. You were trying to help me? Yes, absolutely. I didn't think he was right for you. I thought. You thought you knew better than me. You thought you had the right to destroy my relationship because you didn't approve. She reached for my hand desperately. I pulled away sharply. Rachel, please. You have to understand.
The doorbell rang.
My mother froze completely. Expecting more guests? I asked innocently, that evil smile playing at my lips. She looked confused and worried. No, I'm not expecting anyone. Oh, that's probably them now. I invited a few special people. I hope you don't mind. Her face went deathly pale. Who did you invite? I'll get it, I said calmly, walking to the door. I opened it. Claire stood there with Mark and their 2 teenage sons, all looking nervous and confused. Hi, I said loudly, making absolutely sure everyone in the dining room could hear clearly. Thanks for coming. Please come in. We've been waiting for you. The silence in that dining room was absolutely deafening. My mother stood frozen in the hallway, staring at Claire's family like she'd seen a ghost rise from the dead. Her face went white as a sheet. Mark looked around, completely confused. Linda? What's going on? You said this was a work event. My father stood up from the table, his expression bewildered.
Who are these people?
I gestured calmly to Claire's family, savoring every second. Dad, I'd like you to meet Mark. Mom's husband. Her other husband. And these are your stepsons. Apparently, you have a whole second family you didn't know about. The room erupted in chaos. My father turned to my mother, his face white with shock. What is she talking about? My mother's mouth opened and closed desperately. No words came out. Claire stepped forward, her voice shaking but firm and clear. My name is Claire. I've been married to Mark for 12 years. We live in Portland. We have 2 sons together. And until a week ago, I had absolutely no idea his business partner, Linda, was actually his wife. Or that she had another entire family here in Seattle. Another complete life. My aunt gasped audibly. Linda, is this true? Tell us this isn't true. My mother looked at me, her eyes filled with betrayal and desperate pleading. How could you do this to me? She whispered. I almost laughed at the audacity. How could I do this to you? I pulled out my phone and held up the investigator's damning report for everyone to see. You destroyed my engagement deliberately. You called my fiancé and told him I was unstable, dangerous, mentally ill. You used my private struggles, things I trusted you with in my most vulnerable moments, as weapons against me. My voice was steady, cold as ice. You did that because you said you knew what was best for me. Because you said I wasn't being honest enough with him. Because you judged me. I stepped closer to her, my eyes locked on hers. You've been living a double life for 12 years. You have 2 husbands, 2 complete families. You've been lying to everyone who loves you every single day. I looked around the room at my family's devastated, shocked faces. And you had the audacity to judge me for going to therapy. My father's voice was barely a whisper. 12 years? You've been lying to me for 12 years? My mother tried desperately to speak. It's not. It's more complicated than. Is it true? My father asked, his voice breaking completely. Do you have another family? Another husband? Other children? She started crying, mascara running down her face. No one moved to comfort her. Not a single person. Mark spoke next, his voice hollow and devastated. We have sons, Linda. We have a life together. We built something. Were we just what? Your part-time family? Your weekend experiment? It's not like that at all. Then what is it like? Claire's voice cracked with emotion. Because my children just found out their mother's entire life has been a complete lie. Everything they thought they knew is fake. One of the teenage boys, the older one, looked at my mother with tears streaming down his face. You're married to someone else? You have another family? Another life? My mother reached for him desperately. He stepped back, disgusted. Don't touch me. Don't you dare touch me. My mother tried frantically to explain. To justify the unjustifiable. She talked about feeling trapped. About making choices she couldn't undo. About loving both families equally. No one listened. No one cared. My father walked out of the room and didn't come back. Mark gathered his devastated sons and left without another word to her. Claire stayed long enough to hand my mother divorce papers her lawyer had already prepared. You'll be hearing from my attorney very soon, she said quietly, coldly. Then she left too. My family sat in stunned, horrified silence. My aunt finally spoke. Linda, how could you do this? How could you lie to all of us for so long? My mother looked around the room desperately at all of us. Then her eyes landed on me, filled with hatred. You did this, she hissed, her voice full of venom. You ruined everything. You destroyed my life. I picked up my purse calmly.
No, Mom.
You did. You destroyed your own life with your lies. I just made sure everyone finally knew the truth about who you really are. I walked to the door, then turned back one last time. You destroyed my engagement because you thought you were protecting me from making a mistake. I smiled that cold, evil smile. I destroyed both your marriages because I was protecting 2 families from living a lie. I left her standing there alone, surrounded by the ruins of the life she'd built on deception. My father filed for divorce the next week. Mark did the same. My mother tried desperately to contact me, tried to explain, tried to apologize. I never responded. Not once. She sent long, rambling emails, desperate voice messages, text after text after text. I deleted them all without reading a single word. She didn't deserve my attention. She didn't deserve my forgiveness. She'd made her choices. Now she could live with the devastating consequences. Claire and I stayed in touch. Our families, the real ones, the ones that didn't build their lives on lies, met for coffee a few weeks later. My father and Mark actually got along well. Both were trying to rebuild their shattered lives. The teenage boys were struggling badly, but they were in therapy. They were going to be okay, eventually. And me? I ran into my ex-fiancé, Jake, about 2 months after everything happened. He'd heard through mutual friends what had happened with my mother. He tried to apologize desperately. I should have trusted you. I should have listened to you instead of her. I'm so sorry, Rachel. I was wrong. I looked at him for a long, cold moment.
Yeah.
You should have. I didn't tell him the whole story. I didn't need to. Some people deserve closure. Some people deserve to wonder forever what they could have had if they'd just trusted the right person. My mother destroyed my engagement because she thought she knew what was best for me. She violated my privacy, weaponized my vulnerabilities, ruined my relationship, all while living the biggest, most catastrophic lie imaginable. So I returned the favor. I exposed her to her husband, and I exposed her to her other husband.
Twice.
She wanted to control my story, so I made sure everyone knew hers. And this time, she couldn't lie her way out of it. Some betrayals don't deserve forgiveness. They deserve consequences. And she got exactly what she deserved.
Twice.